Welcome everybody to our regular council meeting of December May 26th 2021. Tonight at the table we have Town Clerk Joanne Perry, Town Manager Sandy Collins, Councillor Jess Call, Councillor Gerald Perry, Councillor Chantel Lynch is back with us this evening, Councillor Richard Kelly, Councillor Craig Arnold, Deputy Mayor David Saunders, and myself, Mayor Doug Churchill. So we'll start with the first order of business, the regular council meeting of May the 12th at 7:30. We need a motion to adopt, please.
Move for adoption.
Councillor Kelly, second by Councillor Arnold. All in favour? Everybody? Anything arising from those minutes?
Number 6, did we get anything back from?
I've spoken to the owner, and I got him in contact with someone at Government Services who's actually with Water Resources, because there's a permitting process, so he's aware of it, and they've begun the conversation, and I haven't heard back yet how that's gone or if he's applied yet. So that was just late last week.
For those who don't know, we're referring to the dumping station.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Anything else? There's only one set of minutes for this evening. Number 17, I think our permit committee was supposed to meet, but I don't think that happened. So perhaps we can set a date for a permit committee meeting.
You can see the calendar.
The off Wednesday next week?
Yeah, it's good. No,
No.
I'm gonna be out of time. I think as far as I know, Wednesday.
Okay.
Tuesday would be fine for me.
Next Tuesday, is that okay for staff?
Perfect.
7:30?
Yeah, okay with me.
All right, 7:30. So we'll meet and discuss that. It was dealing with town vendors and fees and so on.
Yeah.
Anything else arising?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
back to second part of number 11, about the $50,000 for the intersection upgrading.
Yes.
Anything back on that?
No, the letter has been written, but nothing back. I suspect we'll be waiting a while to get a response, perhaps, but the letter is written.
Anything else
Did
arising?
we set up in our meeting with the RCMP to talk about the speeding?
We talked about that, but I don't know that we had no meeting, obviously.
No. Now a letter has been written to the local businesses, but the meeting has not been set up with the RCMP yet.
Okay. But the letter has been written to the contractors.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Hearing nothing else, we'll move then, I guess, to deferred business. First item is municipal plan amendment for Clay Cove, Sweetapple Terrace. Anything new on that one, Mr. Town Manager?
It's in the ending stages according to John Baird as of last week.
Okay,
So,
so we
it's
might have
on
something
the final
soon.
desk, he's telling me, so hopefully before long.
Good, perfect. The zone change request for Tower Equestrian?
No.
Nothing new?
No update. No.
The RV dumping station, we just had a report on that one. Is there anything in addition to that, Mr. Town Manager?
I think we need to have a discussion. So I just pointed out that the business owner who's looking at opening a dumping station, he's working through the permitting process now with the province. I don't know where he is with that and how long that process will take. I have had emails and calls from individuals wondering what we're going to do in the interim. So if, for example, that person doesn't get it ready for this summer, will the town consider opening up the one we have there? Which brings us back to the original point that we have to do upgrades on it in order to make it compliant under COVID-19 regulations, which was the original conversation we had last year. So I don't know what council thinks of that, or
I say we open up with usual pay.
Do we have any idea what the cost would be for the upgrades?
it seems to be a mixed bag of nuts. I'm going to say it's at least a few $100s, and it could be upwards of maybe 1,000. But it all depends. I got a couple different suppliers. Myself and Superintendent of Public Works has been discussing it, and we're trying to figure out exactly what we need. Like the sloped concrete base will probably be the most problematic, because if we have to pour an entire new base, unless we can jerry rig the one we got there to allow it to meet the requirements. But there's issues with the hose and the closure and some other things that we need to replace. We can't just.
Mr. Mayor, will we set that up on user pay?
We could, but we probably need to look at how long we're going to be operating it, because if the other one, the private individual, gets operating, then I guess putting a lot of that kind of infrastructure in place probably wouldn't be necessary. How does everybody feel about opening it now in the interim?
I think it should be open.
It should be open.
Okay, so consensus, am I hearing it from everybody now?
Well,
But
we're
yeah.
in a motion,
So-
Mr. Mayor.
all right, let's
because
have a
we need to
motion.
spend
Hold on,
some
we
money.
need
now, we
Okay.
got to go on and do these upgrades,
Yes,
Yeah.
regardless. If we decide to open up again, we got to do the upgrades.
yes,
Even as temporary.
even if it's temporary.
Back in June 2020, the government set out, if you want to be compliant, you have to have this, and we never had that at the time. That's why we closed it. So if we're going to open it, we should at least make the upgrades, or not open it at all.
If we're going to do it, we should have user pay.
Well, let's do the first thing first now.
I move.
I have a
Moved by-
motion from.
Okay, Deputy Mayor and Councillor Arnold moved second. So that aspect of it first. Any discussion around opening?
How long, you have no idea at all how long that will be.
Not one bit. I spoke to the lady, and I passed over her contact information to Wilf, and I'm guessing he's made contact since. I've spoken to Wilf about it. He knows who he's got to contact, and she said there's a building permit required in order to open it. She also asked if there was any engineered drawings done. I said no, not at this point. So I don't know if that's going to be a requirement. So if it's all these costs and time, perhaps the business owner will just throw up his hands and not open at all.
I was talking to him this morning, actually. Me and him, and he says he was talking to a lady, which I'm
Yeah.
assuming is one you were talking to, and he may have to have an environmental assessment
Right.
done
Not surprising.
and drawings.
Right. So that's probably a game.
He may pull out of it.
Right.
And we're into June right now. It's going to be September
Yeah.
before it gets
That's
started.
too
So
fast.
I'd say it's going to be well even before
September for sure. We're into June now, right?
Councillor Perry.
No, I'm voting.
Oh, well, let's wait now.
I say open hours up to whatever time.
Okay, so the motion has been made to open it
With the necessary
with
COVID
the-
requirements
with the
being
necessary requirements and the cost
Maybe
involved.
open all summer.
Ready for the question?
Person.
All in favour? So that's everybody.
Make sure that we let Guelph know that it's only, for us, it's temporary
Yes,
until he
yes.
opens, because he might
I've
say,
used the
well,
word interim.
We
Interim.
Yeah.
had a problem around this table. It came up many times that a lot of people from out of town were coming in, dumping their sewer and going on again, right? If that's a problem, then maybe if we had user pay, somebody would pay, say, $50 for a key, and that would take care of that problem. Yes or no?
I don't see how that's gonna take care of the problem if somebody comes
Only
in
one fellow
from
get a
town.
key and you get another one cutting passing down to his buddy.
Some from Tollingate coming on a Sunday.
That's the extreme,
Take
boss.
your key.
It's not the extremes, then.
But it do happen.
Do have.
I'm not concerned about that, but what about the people that's gonna come in after hours?
I would have
Or on the weekend.
I would have people going on the weekends and put their boat in the water. What's the difference?
Well,
But
I'm
that may
saying
go
that,
down.
I'm saying,
Well,
Let's
you
stick
have
to the-
key
let's
out
stick
there,
to-
though.
Let's stick to the dumping station now. What is it that you feel? Is it worth our while now? Because this may be months, it may be a year, we don't know how long it's going to be. It may be forever, it may be for a short period of time. So, is there any desire to put a user pay in place? That's the question, I guess.
It's going to cost us money. We got to recover the money.
I think we should wait on the user fee until we see what's going to happen to Crosstown Quickway. See what if they're not open, we offer the service in the beginning, so we got to continue.
But they said to Wilf, the lady said to Wilf that she was going to talk to her boss about
To her
this.
boss.
That's where it's at now.
if we're gonna charge a
She
user
mightn't have to
fee,
have an assessment. He might.
if we're gonna charge a user fee, let's charge it right from the beginning. Let's start
But
right
how we
from the
gonna?
beginning.
How are you going to collect it?
Are we going to?
I'm going to collect the boys. This is my over argument. I'm going to collect it from the boats.
Yeah.
Same. It's the same scenario. Absolutely.
Similar.
It is the same.
You can purchase from VIC on the weekends, though.
Pardon me?
See, the Visitor Information Centre.
If you buy a permit from the town, you put your sticker on your trailer and
But you can put a sign up there that listen, saves you get that on boat launch.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, there's gonna be a lot of people use that boat launch not paying a cent.
Oh, yeah.
well, no question.
There's people that come down and saying they're not paying that.
That's right. No question about it.
So,
You'll know in November how much money you collected from it, right?
So again, about the dumping station.
I say put a user fee on the same as on the boat.
Same thing.
So it's a
Same price,
it's a
same thing.
voluntary thing. So even though this might be only open for 2 months, we're going to put a user fee of $50 on it.
Yeah.
That's
I'll
what
make a
you
motion
suggest-
for that.
That's what you're suggesting.
That's
It
what
would only
many
be 2
uses
months,
they want, right?
but you're going to say $50 for the 2 months.
It's easy.
Or what about one time? You got
$10, same as the boat.
Like, if I may,
Yes.
you can. How many times would you use that dumping station around the summer?
How many times? Well, most people every weekend. Me every second weekend.
Oh, really? That much? Okay.
Oh yeah, for
Some
sure.
people are gone every weekend.
More than that.
Right. But there's others who will just do a single use perhaps.
Yes,
that
because they
maybe
got them in
seeds in there or
parks, they
whatever.
put them
Right.
in parks.
So
Yeah.
for that person, what should they pay?
But there's a lot of people use it. I mean, you could go across from Splash and Put. All those trailers there,
They use it.
they use it. So that's what I'm saying. They should start. If you're going to use it, you got to pay.
Oh, I met going up the road a good many times, and I pulled in by the line, thought, watch what I'm dumping, and how many times I see the guy dump and circle around.
Oh, you're going
Not
in,
even come
yeah.
down in.
We've had calls from
My,
the
my
office
only,
from people.
my only
like that.
concern now is that
This area-
we don't know how long this is going to be hours to operate. So we're saying that, okay, this could be 2
Well,
months,
why
could
don't
be
we
a
leave
month.
it till we see, and then we can come back to a meeting, then we'll put on, if we're gonna have to keep it open, then we'll put the user fee on.
Makes perfectly good sense to me.
And a sign up saying this is under camera surveillance.
I move a motion that if we go on be longer than temporary, this becomes permanent again, that we put on the user fee.
Okay.
Yeah, be specific on the temporary. How many months or whatever.
But if the person is going to do it bails out for any
Yeah,
reason
that
within the next
becomes
couple of
permanent.
months, then we'll know.
Yeah.
If Wilf pulls out, we'll know then that we're going to have to keep this one open.
That's right. And
There's
then you
nobody
put
out there in the street dancing to start this up. I'll guarantee you that. He was the only one who came forward with it.
That's right.
So end of June,
End of June.
a month.
That should do it.
Well, we want
He
to
might not
He
know
don't
the
know if I
process
in the
to
money,
go
whether he's going to do it. He's not going to get into a. He told me himself. He's not getting into assessments and all this. The man told me himself. He's not getting into assessments. He's going to be dragged out and stuff like
Okay,
that.
well, we got a motion made. Do we have a seconder?
Read the motion again, please.
I have a little problem.
Okay.
Councillor Paul made a motion.
Did he?
$50 user fee and $10
Okay, sorry.
service to vote launch.
Okay, sorry.
There was no
Okay.
seconder, but
Okay.
then we started chatting.
Alright.
So now I have that motion, and
Do
then
we have a motion, a seconder
So-
for Councillor Paul's motion? All right, hearing none, the motion will die. Do I have a seconder for the second motion, which is the one related to
if
the
this
$50
becomes permanent,
will go into place? Yes.
Say the second motion again is which?
it's similar to yours, but
Yes.
it's putting it off until we find out
If it becomes a
if
permanent
it
issue.
becomes a
for the town.
permanent thing. But you're going to have to set some timeline here, Councillor Kelly. What do you?
I think last of July.
End
Even a
of
couple
July?
of months anyway. See what's going to happen.
So tomorrow, am I going out with the intention of getting whatever's needed and having Public Works do
Yes.
that
Yeah.
work? Okay,
Yes.
so nothing changes for me.
No, that's already in the
That's
previous
the
motion.
previous
Okay,
motion.
all right.
Okay, so
Again, we don't have a seconder for Councillor Kelly's. We do have a second. Councillor Arnold has seconded the motion.
Okay.
Any discussion? All discussion is done.
Okay.
Ready for
Now, we
questions?
just have to come back to council again
Yes.
Yes,
at the end of July.
at the end of July.
Well, I'll vote for the motion
That don't
if
work.
we bring it back on the end of July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready for the question? All in favour? Everybody. Okay, thank you. Okay. The next one is the review policies for the subdivision extensions. We haven't been done anything with that, I don't think. The land, 145, 165 Main Street South, that was with the, have we heard anything back from Habitat for Humanity?
And that lies with Mr. Hatcher. Yeah, but nothing back yet.
The water leak repayment for,
Still have not heard back. We have to go down and replace sods based on the dig up that we had. We have to replace what we tore up on her property. which is policy. So anyways, once we have that conversation, perhaps I'll enter the conversation again with regards to the damage and whatnot. Yeah.
The people that we tear upside down, are we replacing them now?
Yes.
Have we got very many places that we got to do?
Not a whole lot, but there's always a few from like tear up from snow clearing, or if there was a water leak or whatever the case is. So there's always a couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the sawmill applications, we have some tonight, so did you want to deal with that now?
Yeah, well, so the last meeting, council asked that I go away and come up. Myself and the clerk have been talking about this all week, trying to wrap our heads around it because it's done differently in every town. So I have some ideas here. I was hoping to get, like I've heard from Gander, Lewisport, Peterview, and a couple others, and it's a mixed bag of nuts. They're all over. Some, like Gander, don't allow it at all in residential areas, and you have some in Peterview that have different requirements around it. So, but I sent an email out to PMA, the Professional Municipal Administrators Executive Director, asking her to send it out to all the municipalities so I can get feedback. So if someone in Deer Lake or someone in Lethbridge has an idea, I can figure out, we can try to glean the best ideas from all those. Unfortunately, she didn't get my email last week and went to her junk mail. She emailed me this week and said she has it, but she's not going to be able to get me those answers until next week. So in lieu of that, I have some ideas that I wanted just to read out. I think it's a good place to start. Again, you don't have to accept all of these, but it's something to think about. I guess we'll go from there. So if you want me to read out.
So this is just for consideration.
Proposed, yeah.
When you get the other information,
Right.
we'll revisit this again and have another look. So this is not for decision tonight.
No.
Okay. This is just for information. Carry on.
So all regulations be applied to all new applications. So of course we can't change what's been done, and over the years there's been many applications granted, but this would be on a go-forward basis, new applicants. Sawmill for personal use only to be operated by the homeowner or applicant. So to hopefully stop your buddy coming in and using it and it turns into almost like a commercial operation. Sawmill must be positioned behind the residence, not visible from roadway. Sawmill must be contained entirely within owner's property boundaries. Hours of operation between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. This is something that's used in other communities, which again, it falls outside of what we normally say 7 to 11, but I think given the sound and disturbance, it may be 8 to 8 is much more reasonable. Sawmill must be completely enclosed wooden or metal structure constructed under a building permit from the town. So this is what some other towns have in place. I guess it essentially hides the sawmill and any dirt created, but it also cuts down on the sawdust that goes into the air and the sound by putting it inside a building. So something else to consider. Sawdust bark and related waste must be contained to owner's property, and all waste must be removed on a monthly basis and disposed of correctly. Written permission required from all adjacent property owners. So any property owner that's touching the applicant's property, you would have to get permission from that person, whether that be written, whether it be the town call them, those types of things. But at least then everybody in the immediate area would be aware and have some say in the matter. And this is something we spoke about last time as well. This would be only for bandsaw mills. That would be the only ones permitted. So a chainsaw mill and a circular saw mill would be prohibited based on the sound and whatnot. The bandsaws are much quieter, and from talking to people, the vast majority of sawmills sold now are bandsaws. So I don't think that would cause much of an issue. And the final one there, bandsaw mill with a maximum 10 horsepower motor. Anything in excess of 10 horsepower would be considered industrial. So the yard out in the supplier in Lewisport, Woodland, I believe I said it, Woodland Mills, they sell the band mills, sawmills, and there's a wait list now. Their orders have gone through the roof, of course, because this is happening in every town in Newfoundland. Anyways, they sell two models, I believe, one 9.5 horsepower and another 14. The 14, from speaking to a couple people who know these things and who either own them or have owned them, said it would be far too big and loud to have in a backyard. So if we could limit it to 10 horsepower, which would give you your 9 and 9.5 horsepower, it's more of a hobby, personal use one. So that may get rid of someone coming in with a huge industrial size one. It would limit it based on the size of the horsepower. So that's what I've compiled thus far. So I don't know if you want to have the conversation now. I think it's a lengthy one. I think we need more information, but
Well, why don't we wait? We know kind of where the administration is going, so let's wait and see what we get back from any of the other
Can
communities.
we refer this to the permit committee and make a recommendation back to council for a vote?
Sure.
Would that be
I
It
think
is a permit.
I think it should be open for discussion for the whole council.
Well, it would
Yes,
be-
when it comes back from the permit committee.
It could
Yeah,
be-
if you're going to weed out some of those
Yes.
things and
Yes, I think
Yeah,
we should, the
We
permit
should
committee.
wait. We should wait till
Yeah,
we get more
okay.
information.
Get
Yes.
better information from municipalities.
Yes.
Right.
And then come back to council for further discussion and a vote.
Alright, so consensus that we would end it to the permit committee and bring back the recommendation, is that consensus with everybody? Nobody opposed to that? Okay, so that's what we will do.
I should have done that before I read it. I'm just going to hand out a copy, just something for you folks to think about in the next couple days and week.
So the permit committee is set a time for next Tuesday, so I guess if we don't have the information by then, we can
Yep.
reschedule. Okay, we're down then to permits, Crown land applications, and we have a permit from Robert.
Okay, I gotta be excused.
Okay. Councillor Arnold has excused himself. Got a conflict of interest on the next item. Robert Watkins is applied for a small engine repair business. And Mr. Town Manager, I believe you said it was in his basement. Do you want to give us the details?
Yeah.
on that?
So the area is zoned mixed use with light industry, which this would fall under, listed as a discretionary use. So it would have to be advertised, and if approved, it would have to comply with the conditions laid out in our development regulations. And just to give an idea, I won't go through all of them, but some of them that are of particular interest, all work related to the development must take place indoors. The development must not produce noise, fumes, dust, smoke, or any other kinds of atmospheric emissions noticeable off-site. Open storage of goods, materials, or machinery shall not be permitted on-site. So there's a list of others, but those are the most important ones, because I know anytime we have an application like this, we want to make sure that the person's able to do it and keep it in a tidy manner, and it won't be out in the front yard. It'll be in a shed, or in this case, it'll be in his basement, as he has said.
Okay, and the permit committee met, and the recommendation of the permit committee was that, subject to advertising, because of course it is discretionary in a mixed-use area, subject to the advertising being done and all conditions being met as per the development regulations, we would approve the request. So I guess we need a motion moved by Councillor Paul, second by Councillor Perry. Any further discussion? All in favour? Is everybody? Okay. So Councillor Arnold can be invited back in, I guess. Oh, sorry. We have two requests for sawmill applications, and again, it's both applications from Calvin Orm and Norman Keats will be awaiting the permit committee and the decision of the committee with regard to sawmills. So
is
we'll
it
leave
one
those.
mill or two?
Two.
Consensus on this one?
Consensus,
That's
yeah.
more about just looking at it now, is it?
That's quite a
Quite a
few.
few.
Reports, Mr. Town Manager.
Okay, as you're aware, the chiller replacement up to the arena has taken place, or is taking place. They've removed the old chiller and charge tank, and have begun the process of reinstalling the new one. There was something that came up when they were doing this work, and they've supplied a change order, because this falls outside the original scope of work. So it's to replace the relief header and stack with discharge piping. So I was speaking to Young's regarding this, and it's 6 valves, all feed into a header that goes out into a stack, and it's all connected to the ammonia tank. So based on the fact that the discharge pipe has some heavy corrosion on it, as well as the size of the piping doesn't meet code, we have to replace this as well. This is something that a number of arenas and fish plants over the last couple of years, when the regulations change, have had to do. So it only makes sense to do it now when we're getting the rest of the chiller done. So when we originally went out for pricing, we had $195,000 for the chiller was approved through gas tax to replace the chiller. The low bid came in significantly lower than that. So with this change order, we're able to keep it just in under what was originally approved. So I don't need to go back to gas tax asking for any additional funding. We already had that funding approved. So it wouldn't require any additional than what was originally estimated.
So you need a motion to accept the
Change order.
order.
Please, yep.
Councillor Kelly, Deputy Mayor Saunders, any discussion? All in favour? Everybody? Okay.
An issue when we go out to advertise, as was the case just then when we say something's discretionary has to be advertised, we generally in the past had always gone to Central Voice, which was a local paper and had reasonable rates. Now, of course, with Central Voice gone, our only option for newspaper is the Telegram, which is hugely expensive, 300 and change, I think, for a post. It's quite excessive. So according to the Municipalities Act, you have to post in a regularly distributed newspaper, whatever, newsprint. So I spoke to Municipal Affairs about it, and while they can't say you can't work around the newspaper, when presented, like I said, what if we had to send out a mail out to every single homeowner? So for $91, we can go through Canada Post, and it can be delivered to every single mailbox here, which would be far more efficient. So the point of a newspaper is all about access and transparency by the council. So I think, as Municipal Affairs agreed, this would only increase that transparency. So while he can't say you can't put a newspaper, if we're making an effort to make more people aware and it's not cost restrictive, it would only make sense. The new Municipalities Act is being changed now, and that's likely going to be one of the changes in there. Newspapers are obviously a thing of the past, so
How
We're just
much
getting
do
in
you
front
say? Send out a flyer around.
$91 is it?
It's under $100.
Yeah.
Will make sense.
And then every single person will know, as opposed to a newspaper,
You
very
need
few
a
people.
motion for that?
Yes, we do.
Moved.
Second.
Okay, second by Councillor Paul.
Will make sense.
Moved by Councillor Kelly, second by Councillor Paul, that we would use the mail out instead of the newspaper.
And of course, we still use the town website
Yeah.
And
and
Facebook.
Facebook, and
Yeah.
even the cable channels are like $10.
That's right, that's a good point, yeah.
And this cost is borne by the individual, not the town.
Right.
So, you know, for someone with a small business operating, if they've got to pay $300 for an ad, that's a lot of money.
A lot of people don't get the telegram heard.
No.
No.
We always put in the Saturday edition, but
Yeah.
I would say less than 20%,
You
or
can
maybe
online.
10%.
If you're
You read it
lucky.
online anyway.
All right, motion is made and second. Any further discussion? All in favour? It's everybody. Okay.
Some time ago, we approved a volleyball court up next to the multi-purpose court on the recreation grounds. Our recreation director, along with the rec staff, have come up with an idea to move that from the proposed area that would line it up with the playground and the multi-use court and the volleyball court. Instead, bring it over near where the mini-mobile shed is. Between the mini-mobile shed and the community gardens, there's a grassy patch there that was cleaned out some time ago by town workers. I'm wondering if we can't refer that to EDO Rec Committee to have a look and see if we want to put a development there, or if we want to stick with what we had chosen originally.
I have some issues with it. I'd certainly like for it to come back to a committee to have a discussion, yeah, for sure. As anybody else feel?
Can't we use it in the same one where the tennis court is?
Well, that was the
That was the intent.
that was the
Well,
intent, that
what's the
area.
idea of not going back to use that?
I don't think you
original-
should go over on the other side.
What's the reason?
I haven't really
for
looked
it?
at it, but I don't think you should.
But why wouldn't you want to use where the tennis court is? Nobody plays tennis there. How often you see somebody
Oh,
playing
no,
tennis?
this is going to be a sand court.
It's going to be sand.
Yeah, it's supposed to be sand.
Oh,
Beach
it's gonna be
volleyball,
sand?
right? Yeah. So it'd be a separate court altogether. They said the space is a bit tight there. Now there is enough space to put it there, but they just felt based on the space and how restricted it would be better if it was over on the other side.
I don't wanna cut any trees then.
I
All right,
don't
let's-
think.
let's,
yeah, it may result in one tree being cut, but that's a
Let's
consideration. for sure.
refer it to the committee and let them then come back and make a recommendation. Is that a consensus?
Yes.
Everybody okay with that? All right, so consensus that we would refer to a committee.
And one final one. We had this letter come in late today, but it was with regards to the post that I had put up regarding the launch fee. And in response to that, so it's from a local business, from FabTech Industries. As many are aware, they do boat testing quite often.
Okay.
So one of the owners had contact today just wondering how that would apply to them. She wasn't in disagreement with it. She just wondered how it would impact them if they're water testing 20 Seacraft, whatever the case is. Do they pay a $50 fee every time, or what's the case? Which I would think would be excessive. So,
$10 would be time.
or we can just make them pay the $50 annual
Yeah.
fee.
$50 annual
Right.
fee?
Sweet.
I
Yeah.
think she did say 10 to 12 times, not 20.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
10 to 12 times
Right.
a year.
Well,
Yeah, I think you pay one fee, it'd be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should cover it.
Test the
one
boat
fee is
or not.
fine, sure.
And a pass for the
And
window of
there's
the
a business
vehicle.
here in town.
Yeah.
You can't shaft the
Well.
business was.
Okay, everybody okay with that? We need a motion now, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, motion then please.
So moved.
Second.
Councillor Pierce, Councillor Paul, all in favour? Everybody?
And
Still one more.
To continue on, just one more. To continue on that same breath, someone had mentioned as well for people who have a berth at the marina, they need to get their boats to the marina. So this impacts me, for example. I spoke about it today. I wonder now how that would impact. I wouldn't buy a season's pass, but I would expect people who have berths at the marina perhaps buy a single pass to use the. This is going to come up. It's already been raised. So if you have a berth at the marina, you still got to get your boat to there. So you're going to use the user. You're going to use the launch. So a user fee of a single pass would be.
You can buy a single pass, can you?
That's right. So I just think that's reasonable. But I know this is going to come up because somebody may say, "Well, I'm paying for a berth at the marina. Now you have me paying for the boat launch." But those are two separate entities.
Nothing to do with us, Marina.
No.
That's a separate corporation.
So you're putting it out and you're taking it back in $10, which would always be sensible.
Is everybody okay with that then as well?
You wanna add that to that same motion?
Yeah, let's do that.
If not, you need to make one.
Yeah, let's add that.
Gerald,
Councillor
Councillor Perry and
I would
Councillor
say-
Paul?
Yes.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I would say down the road, the marina might have to incorporate
Yeah,
as part of their fee.
yeah, there you go. Maybe
You
that's
know,
something you can bring up.
So I'm not putting that in the motion, I'm
No,
just
no.
making a suggestion here.
Okay, so that's all good then, eh?
Okay,
That's it. Thank you.
good. Round the table then.
Can we vote on that?
We
Yes,
go to, yeah, because you made it part of the first motion.
I would put it with the first motion.
Councillor Paul.
All the stuff that I had to bring to council has been taken care of. So
Perfect.
there you go.
Can't be good. Better. Councillor Perry.
Ditto.
Councillor Lynch.
No, I'm good.
Councillor Kelly.
No.
Councillor Arnold.
Nope.
Deputy Mayor.
My Montreal Canadiens is out of the playoffs after Thursday.
What country it was up? That chair for every update.
I'll make a note.
Make a note of that. Will you make sure that goes in the
Get
minutes.
the
Yeah.
deputy mayor a blue jersey.
Yeah, give him a blue jersey. All right, let's move into correspondence. And the first item is a letter from Ivan and Mary Collins with concerns about their driveway. I guess everybody's had the chance to read the letter now. It seems like it's something that Public Works will need to visit and have a look at the problem, because apparently there's been some repairs done there that's not satisfactory to the homeowner. So, would the chair of the Public Works Committee want to set a time to deal with this one?
Tuesday morning, or Tuesday 1 o'clock, with Craig.
Tuesday at 1 okay for you,
Right?
Councillor Arnold? Okay, so Tuesday at 1 we'll meet and
Is
have a
that
look.
public work?
Public Works.
We meet and have you walk
I may not be there, but I'll
Well,
try.
okay, we'll see what happens. Sure. Thank you. The next one is a letter from Valletta Carew, and it's the online auction for graduation. They're asking for a donation of an hour of ice time for the graduating class 2021 for their online auction.
I move.
Moved by Councillor Kelly, second by Deputy Mayor Saunders. Discussion? All in favour? Okay, approved, everybody. Thank you. The next item is the letter from Alexander Bay Lions Club in relation to their membership. And I guess the bottom paragraph of the letters on the first page is kind of what they're asking us to do. We'd like the assistance of council to reach out to the public in our membership drive prior to the summer season, and then again when we resume operation in mid-August. So, town manager, is there anything in particular that we need to?
No, just to make it known, they're in a real tough spot with membership right now. A number of members have either passed away or have moved away, so they're down to very low numbers, and they need the council to help them reach the public to hopefully drive a membership to come to the Lions Club. So they're looking at us doing. Myself and the mayor and our EDO had met with them, and the suggestion was made maybe the council could send out a flyer, as we were speaking about earlier, something that's less than $100, but with all the information with regards to the good that the Lions Club does and encouraging people to join.
Yeah, I was just reading this letter here. Maybe an idea to send this letter out. It's beautiful.
Actually,
Yeah,
that was the intention. So
that would go with it.
so they provided that. Ron
we
Pond
should
has
send that
provided
out and we pay
Yeah.
for it, of course.
Yeah.
So that's, we need I guess it's cost, we need a motion. Councillor Paul had made a motion, any seconder? Councillor Arnold? All in favour? Everybody. Okay. Oh, come on, An email from Jennifer Howard, Government of Canada, Hydrometer Station. So this is in relation to Terranova River. There is currently an hydrological centre there, if you like. I think it's what they call that, Joe, where the cable goes across the river. There used to be a local name on that area, wasn't it?
Pet shack.
Yeah,
Pet
that's
Shack?
it, yeah.
No, Pet Shack.
Fisheries Harbour, fisheries.
Fisheries, whatever.
Well, Pet Shack, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's
Pet
the
Shack.
general-
Fisheries Harbour, yeah.
Okay.
Pet
So
Master
they
was
want
a
to take
fisheries
a,
harbour.
they want to take the old building out and put a new one in, basically. And they're just, I guess, making us aware of it. So I don't think there's anything that we need to do unless they come looking for a permit or whatever is necessary. So
just-
we're good, just it for information purposes. The next item is from an email from Melanie Parsons, and they're looking at the property that they have at Riverside Road East. They want assurance from the mayor and council that lots 9 and 13. So there's 9, 11 and 13 there currently now. They're looking at, if you look at the diagram, they're looking at dividing the property into 3 separate lots. They're asking us to give them documented assurances that we would issue building permits. It seems like something that the permit committee probably should go down and have a look at and see if there is anything pertaining to I mean, it's up to them whether they subdivide, but is there anything there that would be a problem for the permit committee issuing a permit? So that's something we can talk about, I guess, next Tuesday when we meet with the permit committee.
But they would have to have had a deed or whatever for the land, wouldn't they?
Well, they have the survey and so on attached, right?
Yeah.
But I guess, I don't know, whatever we normally would do in terms of those kinds of things.
As long as the town meets the town regulation for size, it shouldn't make a difference, should it?
What they're hoping to do is they have one large parcel, they want to subdivide it into 3 lots. What they're asking of the town is if we subdivide this into 3 lots with frontage 60 feet or whatever, if we sell it and then the purchaser comes for an application to build a house,
Yes.
will the permit committee grant the application? And as the mayor said, the permit committee needs to go down and look
Yes.
at the property to see if there will be any issue there with council doing that. There may be that there cannot be 3 lots there for some reason. There might only be 2 that could suffice. So that's
Yeah, I can see
that's
it
what,
now.
there is an actual survey attached.
Nothing
As
to do
long as it
with
meets
the
town
legality.
requirements.
No, nothing
no,
to do with the
no,
legality at all.
And there is a lift station in one area, and there's a water pole mentioned in another area.
And a brook.
And a
runs
brook
through.
and a pond that runs through. So yeah.
So consensus that we will leave it to the permit committee to have a look. Okay, that's all the correspondence. We're down to check register. We need a motion, please. Councillor Arnold, Councillor Lynch. All in favour? Everybody? We need a motion to adjourn, please. Councillor Arnold, Councillor Lynch. Thank you. And good evening.
Well, I
Well,
got through tonight.
you did.
Oh, sorry.